Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I am a fifth-year PhD candidate in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists. And as you might expect, I love to read, I love to share what I'm reading, and I love to hear about what other people are reading. Today I have for you my March TBR, which is a fairly short TBR because I am trying to keep things more realistic this year instead of making these wildly large TBRs and then not reading half of them. However, there is another reason I am keeping my March TBR fairly condensed, and that is because I am participating in the event March of the Mammoths. March of the Mammoths is hosted by Jason from Old Blues Chapter and Verse and Alex from Big Al Books, I believe. And the whole idea of this is to read, or at least start reading, what is considered a mammoth in the month of March. And a mammoth is a book that is over 800 pages. So, yes, I have the perfect book for this because I am also doing a project I am referring to as the George Eliot Project, where I am reading all of George Eliot's fiction in publication order. And I am now up to Middlemarch. So for me, this is Middlemarch of the Mammoths. This book is 850-ish pages with notes. It is actually a reread for me. I read this once before. I had tried to read it 3 times prior and not gotten very far. And I had issues with this. I call this book my nemesis. Because while I liked parts of it, Mary Garth, my love, awesome character, I had a lot of issues with other parts of it, including the length and the pacing. So I am hoping on this revisit to Middlemarch that I will fall in love with it because so many other people love this book and I just want to love it too. I like other of George Eliot's. This journey reading her fiction in publication order has been really enlightening, and I have found books that I really like a lot. But I just want to like this book. I don't want it to be my nemesis anymore. So this is my main goal of March. If I read one book in March, it's going to be Middlemarch. However, I'm not going to only read one book in March because I can't just read an 800-page Victorian novel. I would be so worn out if I just tried to focus on reading this. I have to read things in between. So yes, this is my top priority, but there are other books that I will be trying to read. And the first of those is actually another Victorian book. So I will try to finish Middlemarch first and then read this, but this is the Perpetual Curate by Margaret Oliphant. This is the 5th book in the Chronicles of Carlingford? 5th, I think? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I think it's the 5th. And I actually had wanted to read this in January, but decided instead to do a quick reread of Salem Chapel, which is the book preceding this one in the series. The Chronicles of Carlingford covers 7 works, I think, 2 short stories and then 5 novels, all focused on this town of Carlingford and the different people in it. The Perpetual Curate focuses on Frank Wentworth, who is the Perpetual Curate of St. Roch's. We have met him in, I think, all of the other books so far, and I'm really excited for him to get his own story and see him end up with, I think her name is Lucy, who is his love interest. And like, that's not really a spoiler, it's hinted at through all the other books too. So I am excited to get to this. Margaret Oliphant is one of my favorite authors ever. I am writing a chapter in my dissertation on her, so this counts as dissertation reading. Ha ha ha. But yes, I will try to read Middlemarch first, I think, and then if I have time, pick up the Perpetual Curate, because I find it very hard to read two works of Victorian literature at the same time and not get kind of muddled. Next up, I have my Fairy Tale Friday read for March. Fairy Tale Friday is a feature where I take a fairy tale retelling and examine it as a retelling compared to original versions of the fairy tale. And I do that on Friday, hence the name. And I will be doing 6 Fairy Tale Fridays throughout the year of 2024, so one every other month. I read The Night Dance as my read for January. That video is coming soon. And for March, I will be looking at Thornhedge by T. Kingfisher. And why did I pick this one for this month? It's short. So to even out with Middlemarch there, with my Mammoth, I've got a much shorter book because I think that's what I'm going to need. Now, this seems to be a retelling of Sleeping Beauty, but a loose retelling. And it is following a character named Toadling, who was stolen from her family by the fairies. He is asked to protect a newborn child. And then centuries later, a knight approaches a towering wall of brambles where the thorns are as thick as your arm and as sharp as swords. He's heard there's a curse here that needs breaking, but it's a curse Toadling will do anything to uphold. And look at this gorgeous, and paper art. I love it. I love it. This was a Christmas present from my mother. Is it the same? It's the same on the other side. I have read several of T. Kingfisher's other books and really enjoyed them, so I'm hoping to love this. It does seem to be a Sleeping Beauty retelling. But you know, I read The Wolf and the Woodsman by Ava Reed in January thinking that was a Little Red Riding Hood retelling, and it wasn't, so who knows? But it definitely sounds like a Sleeping Beauty retelling, with maybe a bit of like the Frog Prince type stuff with Toadling, or maybe the fairy tale Padaki, which is a lesser known fairy tale, but also features a girl who is a frog. So I don't know, we'll see. I'm very much looking forward to this, and I think it should be great. Another fantasy book that I want to read for March is Mislaid in Parts Half Known by Shannon McGuire. This is the next installment in the Wayward Children series. It came out at the beginning of the year, and I am very excited. I have a hold on it through Libby at my library to listen to the audiobook, and it actually apparently came in not too long ago, and then I missed it, so I had to go back to the end of the hold list. And I'm mad. So I turned my notifications on, which I probably should have done sooner. But yeah, I love this series. It is about children who have gone to portal worlds similar to Narnia or Wonderland, and then come back and are having problems readjusting. I love this. So the odd-numbered books take place in the main timeline with the main plot of the children after they've been to their portal worlds, and then the even numbers are the children's adventures while they're in their portal worlds. So this is an odd-numbered book. It is number 9. Crap, really? We're on 9? So this is taking place in the main timeline, looking at the main plot. And I just love Shannon McGuire's books so much. I have had such a good time with this series, and I cannot wait to see what's next. Apparently there's dinosaurs. There's dinosaurs on the cover. I'm intrigued. And then the last book that I have for March is another very short one, and this is Dear Committee Members by Julia Schumacher. This is basically a satire of academia. It is focused on a professor named Jason Ficker, who is in creative writing and literature at Payne University. And this is told through his increasingly just sarcastic letters of recommendation that he gets forced to write for people. As somebody in academia, I love seeing people make fun of academia because I make fun of academia all the time. And I think that this will just be, again, a nice short read to even out Middlemarch, especially since Middlemarch is very, you know, serious, as is all of George Eliot's writing. So to have something funny and very modern instead of Victorian to go along next to Middlemarch will be like kind of a nice little breath of fresh air. And I need that kind of difference in my reading life. So I'm very excited to get to this one, and I've heard very good things about it. So that is what I am reading for the month of March. Let me know down in the comments below, are you participating in March of the Mammoths? What are you planning to read for it? Have you read any of these books that I've talked about? What did you think of them? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.